What's going on, guys? Derek here from Wilson Audio Labs. Today we're going to look at a 4-channel monster amp from Rockford Fosgate. Let's unbox it, take a better look. It is the T1000-4. Here you can see this beauty of a Class AB 4-channel amplifier. Has 8-gauge inputs for the speaker connections. It has a punch bass EQ front input. Has all the switches and controls for the EQ, for the low pass, high pass, crossover. Has independent gain controls for the front and for the rear, in addition to very high quality Tiffany style RCA inputs, the kind that we really like. These are the super heavy duty kind that don't break. In other words, they're the kind that are not flimsy.
You big dummy!
We also have 1.0 inputs for the power and ground, and about 12 gauge for the remote. Here's the amp. You can see the front side. Looks very nice. Has an acrylic top. Just a beautiful, beautiful amplifier. Now, what is the difference between this T1000-4 and the new one that Rockford sells, the T1000-4 AD, which costs $1,000 and still available? Well, the one that we're showing you was available from 2008 to 2012. And the current model is 2013 to 2020. You can see the difference in size, 22 inches versus about 15 inches in length. Now the width and the height are the same on both, 8.14 inches by about 2.14 inches. Now I'm going to show a physical size difference here. The amp I'm showing at the top is the T1500 BDCP, but it's actually the same size as the current T1000-4 AD. Huge difference in size here, my friends. Now, the one we're showing you today is rated 150 watts by 4 at 4 ohms, 250 by 4 at 2 ohms, or 500 by 2 bridged at 4 ohms. This is a Class AB amplifier, which equates for the size being much larger than the current Class D generation. Efficiency about 70% at 4 ohms, 65% at 2 ohms. We're actually going to try that out. Again, it includes 1.0 inputs for power, 8-gauge for the speaker connections, and recommended fuse is 150 amp, which is external. It does not come with that. Now, these Rockford amps, of course, have a lot of technology over the years, the Nomad, the DTM, DSM, the Punch EQ, all that good stuff. Check their website for more information about what these amps include. Now, this amp has an acrylic top, and it had a few imperfections in it. So I talked to some people online and said, what do I need to get? They said, try this Novus scratch removal kit. It's actually a 3-stage kit. So I was going to make a separate video about this, but I decided might not be interesting enough to do a whole different video about it. But I did use this kit, and it did a really good job of helping polish the acrylic top panel. I did use the stages here one at a time to kind of do least abrasive to most abrasive to try to get the thing cleaned off, and it looks really good in the end. I'm really happy with that. Check the video description if you want to check out this plastic cleaning kit by Novus. Overall, I think the amp looks really nice. Here you go, you can see it. It maybe has just a few little very tiny imperfections in it, but definitely overall it made it look almost like brand new. Alright, so now we have the amp hooked up. Let's fire up the good old amp dyno and try some RMS power output test for this 4-channel 1000 watt Rockford amp. And first up, what we're going to do is do the 4-channel test. 4 ohms by 4 channels. We're going to show you 2 of the 4 channels, but all the channels are loaded with resistors. So at 4 ohms, it's rated 150 by 4. The certified test, we're using 40 hertz. Look at this, 218 watts right at 14.2 volts. So nicely over the rated power. Uncertified takes us up to the clipping point of the amplifier. 217 per channel right at 14.1 volts. Again, very impressive. Dynamic sends a dynamic pulse into the amp, kind of like a kick drum. 232 watts, 14.5 volts. Again, very impressive. Now the efficiency, we measured 63% efficiency at this ohm load based on our results. Now let's try the 2 ohm test. Again, times 4 channels. And the way we did this is we hooked up the left front and right channels to the dyno, and we bridged the rear channels to a 4 ohm load. And we're actually going to show you that result as well using the AMM1. So first up, we're going to do the 2 ohm test where it's rated 250 by 4 at 2 ohms. Look at this, 349. Crazy. And then on the sub channel, or on the other channel's bridge, we got 680. That equates to about 340 watts per channel, so still pretty close. And amazingly over the rated power, over 100 watts over the rated power. Uncertified takes us up to the clipping point, again right at 360 watts per channel, over 100 watts more than rated. And on the sub channel bridge, 684 at 3.9 ohms. And the final run here at 2 ohms is going to be the dynamic burst. Again, these are all 40 hertz tests. Look at this, 430 watts at 14.6 volts. Just incredible power. Now the sub channel, over 700. Look at this, 701 at 3.9 ohms on the channels 3 and 4 bridged out. Very nice. We calculated 59% efficiency, which is right about what they suggested it would be. So very good there. Now next up, we're going to do the 4 ohm test with the amplifier bridged into 2 channels. It's rated 500 watts by 2. First up, as always, the certified test takes us up to 1% THD. Look at this, over 200 watts over the rated, 713 watts at 14 volts. Rockford for the win. Uncertified takes us up to the clipping point. Again, look at this, right at 750 watts at 14.12 volts. Now for the dynamic test, I made it 2 ohms, which is rated to be stable, but look at this. Almost 1400 watts at 15 volts. Wow, pretty incredible. So as far as the efficiency goes, we got right at 60%. That's right what they rated it would be, so very good. All right, so I'll be honest, now to look at the guts, I did have to post online to figure out how to get to the guts of this amp because it was not readily apparent. You need a T10 Torx bit, and it takes, it's kind of difficult because you can't really fit a screwdriver head in there, so you have to have you have to actually have a T10 bit or an extension. So you take out the 4 screws there, and then you can pop the top panel off, and be careful, you don't want to mess up this ribbon cable here that connects to the front, which controls the VU meter and some of the LED lights there, so be real careful with that. And here you can see when the LEDs work, exactly how they look. And yeah, this is just a classic design. I really wish they would have stuck with this and not got rid of this. But here you can see the internals of the Class AB 4-channel 1000 watt amp from Rockford Fosgate. And as expected, it's going to be loaded. Class AB amps take more components. A lot of people say they're cleaner. 3300 microfarad 63 volt caps there. Copyright 2008. Then we have these EMI shield cards. And you can see all the engineers. You'll see all different kind of logos all across the amp that shows engineers who were responsible for the design of these series amps. A couple transformers there, some more filter capacitors. You can see the EQ cards there, crossover cards on the right. These are bespoke designs by Rockford Fosgate, so you will not see other amps that look like this. That's why these amps cost more. They're engineered in-house, very high quality. Now let's let you take a look at those VU meters and get sound demo. Check it out. Alright, so after testing the amp on the dyno and also running it with speakers here for 30 or 45 minutes or so, we're going to check the temperature, and these amps get hot. I mean, that's what they're designed to do. 137 degrees Fahrenheit here, the hottest point on the external. And I wanted to show you guys a graphic from Rockford Fosgate's page talking about this dynamic thermal management. Talk about how these things are designed to get hot, and that's just how they work. Now let's talk about the stuff we like about this amp. The power output, incredible. Aesthetics, I really like it. I mean, that's personal preference. It does have good features. The VU meters, hey, that's just the best part of the amp in my opinion. It works with the bass remote. Class AB, baby. That's right, sound quality. And those Tiffany style RCAs will make you sing. Now what could be better? Well, it is expensive. They're discontinued. It's big. They're hard to find. The efficiency is not that great, but it is a Class AB amp, so we'll sacrifice some efficiency for better sound quality. The bass knob is extra. It doesn't come with the amp, and this sucker gets hot. Alright guys, there you have my review and test. Rockford Fosgate T1000-4 Class AB version with the VU meters. The one now everybody's going to want. Sorry, they don't sell them anymore, so you're going to have to find it on the used market, or your friend that's got one stashed away, go grab it. These are the coolest T1000-4 in my opinion. Appreciate you guys always for supporting me. Patreon.com/oldschoolstereo. Thanks for watching this, commenting, liking, thumbs up. Special thanks, Stuart, Travis, Jesus, Tomcat Jr. Till next time, Big D, I'm out of here. Alright, now we're going to try a dynamic test at 40 Hertz. 1 ohm for the front channels, and then we have the sub channels bridged at 4 ohms. So that's a 2 ohm per channel load on the rear channels. See what we get. It says it's stable. Let's see. Wow. Holy moly. Over 700 watts.